darling hearts, it's GAPS coach Emma here. It just said failing to connect or something, but I think it's connected now. Happy beautiful Monday to you all. It's my daughter's last day of exams today, and bizarrely she wasn't down by 7:15 because she's always been a very good timekeeper, and I'm sure she would have made a very good compliant cog in the wheel of the machine had she not had me as a mother. But she has never required that I wake her up for her to get to school. Just gobsmacking all through the ADHD and OCD and ear infections and the tumour and the everything we've been through, which is, she's the one who's guided me on my GAPS journey. You know, after everything we've been through, she's come through just so beautifully. So I had to wake her up this morning to get her to college. And we were laughing because I swear this feels like it's the first time I've ever had to actually rouse her from her sleep to get her up in the morning. Because usually she's up, clothes, you know, school uniform on, when she was at the school uniform school, you know, bag packed, packed lunch ready, out the door on time to walk to the bus stop or whatever. And she was an extremely challenging child. I mean, so challenging that I wondered where she came from, who she was, and what she wanted. You know, it's my own, very own daughter, you know, but I couldn't really speak her language. It was really bizarre. She'd make noises at me as a baby, and I'd think, I don't know what that means. And had I not already had one child that I understood fairly well, it would have come as a bit of a surprise to meet a child that you've given birth to, that's born of you, and you meet this child and you're like, I don't know you, I don't recognise you, what are you saying? Anyway, she used to beat me up if I didn't give her the sugar. She used to beat me up if I didn't give her her fix. And when I began to have this paradigm shift of it's not her I've got the beef with, it's her gut bugs, then suddenly our relationship changed. And it went from quite a oppositional, you know, you see these mums in the supermarkets and they're like, oh, for God's sake, come on, will you? And there's obviously irritation there. And it looks as though the parents don't like their children very much. This was me. And it breaks my heart when I see it, because it doesn't have to be that way. Because actually, it's the gut bugs that are causing the problems. It's the deficient microbiome that is causing the behaviour. Dr. Natasha's book, Gut and Psychology Syndrome, it's got it all very clearly signposted on the front. It says autism, dyspraxia, ADD, dyslexia, ADHD, depression, schizophrenia even. These are physiological conditions. That means it's the body's deficiency that's causing the neurological or the mental behaviour. Now, I was outrageously depressed and anxious when I was young. I got to the point when I was about 28 where when I tried to put food in my mouth, I would just dissolve into tears, and I inadvertently fasted for about 6 months nearly. I got very, very, very skinny. I did eat something, but I didn't eat a lot. But I got very skinny, and that fast helped me to somehow get rid of the toxins out of my system and regain function. And I wasn't so depressed. And then I started to practice yoga and breathing, and I started to eat differently. But it wasn't until I had my children that I discovered GAPS. Now, GAPS is the game changer, because we had endless snotty noses, ear infections, ADHD, tics, twitches. We had tumours to deal with. My eldest had Tourette's, where she was swearing at her maths teacher. It wasn't funny. But, you know, we've got through all of these things using the food as the medicine, and also some kinesiology, which helped a lot. So we don't have to suffer in silence, you know. ADHD, dyspraxia. I mean, my youngest now, the one who I didn't have to wake up for all those years, and then her last day of her exam, she slept. Actually, her alarm didn't go off because, of course, she likes routines. And it's a Monday today, and the exam's on a Monday, but usually she's in on a Tuesday, a Wednesday, and a Friday. So, of course, her alarm didn't go off because it wasn't the routine, do you know what I mean? Anyway, bless her. she is so on it now, and she used to have terrible ADHD. She wouldn't look at me in the eye. When she was little, I would call her name and she would ignore me. I'd say, Bibi, Bibi. She'd just keep on doing what she was doing because that was what she was doing, and she wasn't going to be listening to me, but she'd quite happily go and wander off with a stranger. You know, she'd quite happily go and take a stranger's hand and just wander off with a stranger. The bizarrest behaviour. Yeah, so she was really OCD as well. She used to line everything up in a row. She used to line all the shoes up and, you know, line all the toys up, line all the cars up. And but then if I called her name, she would not look me in the eye, and she wouldn't ever come and kind of give me a cuddle or sit on my knee. It was really heartbreaking, actually. It's really heartbreaking having a child with autistic tendencies, because it feels like they don't love you, feels like they don't care, feels like they don't really want you, but they need you because you're their parent. You're responsible for them. You've got to look after them. But they, you know, she used to have night terrors as well. Oh my God, the night terrors. She would scream out in the night, and I'd run to her to comfort her, stroke her, give her cuddles, but she never wanted a cuddle. She used to kick me like I was the monster. It was really heartbreaking. You know, I'd be shell-shocked afterwards. I'd be like, I wanted to love and hug my child to make them feel better, but really they'd just punch me up like I was the monster. Couldn't work out what was giving her these night terrors until we got onto GAPS and we realised it's the gut bugs, the toxins, you know. It affects your your brain, all your nervous system. It affects the way you think. So she was always single-minded, that child. She always had great tenacity. She still does. She's tenacious. That means she holds on. She doesn't let go, you know. She will not let go. And that is not the kind of thing you want to, you know, bash out of a child. That's a good quality for if you are, you know, in life. It's a good quality in life. Never let go. I better go and get that. Join me in Normandy. We're going on retreat. See timelesscookery.com.